All right. Check, check, check. Should be good to go. Levels are good. Welcome all to the Rhino podcast. This is a new podcast I'm starting, quote unquote, bi-weekly, or just potentially whenever I feel like uploading it. I don't really know what the upload schedule will be, but I feel like there needed to be a platform. Sort of like I'm gonna go off like the Draymond Green show, like sort of that vibe where I'm just giving my thoughts on the occurrences in the league and things of that nature. So just throw on your earbuds or headphones or whatever, lay back, listen to some comments and yeah. So I guess we can start with me coming back to the league and joining ROT and potentially was going to join Grin. No, I was never going to play in Warrior. Well, actually, that's not exactly true. Wild Daddy reached out to me when I was a free agent saying, hey, did you want to play in Warrior? I said, I would be down. It should be a good experience. And then right as I was saying that, I think that day, IPA Cloud had to step back from Dota, and I don't think I could miss the ROT experience. And I've always been an admirer of Seven Dark 30 for a couple seasons now, and how IPA handles teams, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I after like my expectations for the team before coming in to it, young mid player, probably, I mean, not even probably, he's the best mid in the league. But he lacked competitive experience outside of some meme years with some Sara. Um, Good support duo. I think Shuby is very underrated in the support tier. And what he brings to the team and what he brings to the lane. Um, yeah, so like I think he brings a lot more than what a lot of people are giving him credit for. Fatality, newer captain. I do see some weaknesses with his captain ability, but I mean I think for first season of captaining, he's doing a great job with the drafting, the research, the prep, all of it, and then of course IPA, just sort of like, for lack of better words, sort of the elderly guy on the team, giving some, you know, fuck, my fault, bless you, giving some guidance to the team, and all the things like that. He has great opinions. So going into the ZG week when we won one ZG, we I think we only scrimmed maybe once. Um, and it went semi well. Could have gone better. There were a lot of issues I saw immediately with the team. No defined in-game leader. There's a lot of the plays seemed erratic. And there was not like a core function in a lot of in a lot of the drafting. A lot of it was sort of like you get what you want to play, whatever you're feeling. It wasn't cohesive. And we definitely fall back in that pattern a lot. I think that's what happened game two against Savage. And I'll dive more into that the further into the podcast. But against ZG, I mean, we didn't really do much research. Like, no disrespect to ZG. Um, I don't know how the fuck. Wait, let me make sure they're an upper bracket team. I mean, listen, if ZG, if you're listening to this, man, I was actually gonna reach out to you guys if you guys wanted to play a BO3 for your playoff spot for content. Cause like, do y'all think y'all are a four seed? Y'all think y'all better than ROT? I mean, listen, like, it's no smoke or no disrespect, but like, that's crazy as hell. But I guess that's the thing when I come in late to the situation. You know what I mean? I guess that's the big thing there. So, but I was gonna reach out just for some fun content. It'd be fun to play for somebody's playoff spot, but I know they probably want to do it. But congratulations to ZG for getting knocked out by SS in the first round. and hopefully seeing us. I would love to go from HO to ZG to Goff to SS in that order. I'd love to see DXO too. Cheddar Bear. So I got a lot. I got a lot to say. I'm getting off track. Back to the ZG game. Game one. Absolute masterclass. Magnus play. Blended played out of his mind. Uh, Great draft from Fatality. It felt. I wouldn't say uh, easy. No, it felt easy. It felt easy for sure. Game two, we were feeling ourselves, so I was like, let's pick Storm. I don't see any reason not to. Also, I liked the matchup. I felt like I could win the lane, which I did. And yeah, I felt like I could take over the game in the mid game, given enough space and room. Uh, Void is Void. That's all I have to say about that game. Faceless Void. They picked him up. I was a little worried. I knew that at some point it just came down to how good of Chronos he was going to hit. It came down to if we had Wind Wakers or saves built. And, those things, things happen. And Void won the game. Do I think they're a better team than us? I mean, we won one, but I think we saw them again, it'd be a 2-0. I think we're only getting stronger, and I don't think I've been on a team that's ever gotten stronger. The further and further into the playoffs, like all the teams I've been on, maybe we got a little stronger, but we were always pretty strong. Or like we peaked like in the mid season, or we peaked early on in the season. Not many teams I'm on like peak right before the playoffs, so that feels good. That confidence going in, beating. So going on to the next week, schedule comes out. We have Savage Spirits. I'm immediately already, sort of hyped for the matchup. I'm hyped to see, you know, I don't think there's a lot of rivalries where people see each other in the same lane. But like me and Benny obviously have had our problems and our quarrels. Uh, and seeing him across the rift, man, that shit's always a treat. That shit's always fun. It's fun to play around with him and see what he's gonna pick and play the mind games in the draft as well. It's just a good time. So let's go into game one. Game one, I think, or let's just go prep week. The week leading up to this. So we obviously schedule came out. I think that Friday or Thursday night. And I realized I was like, okay, let me, firstly, I contact other captains they've played. I'm like, hey, what do you think about Savage? I feel like that's always a good thing to do if you have connections in the league. What do you think about this team? Where's their weaknesses? Where should we poke at? What should we look at in replays? What should we really think about? Because our big thing was we know we needed help to get in the playoffs. If we had 8 wins, I think we were for tiebreakers, but I don't know if it was SOS. So maybe we didn't need help. Maybe it was still in our destiny. But wait, actually, no, because if ZG 2-0'd, then we would have to face DXO in a tiebreaker. Actually, yeah, we didn't need any help. We just needed a 2-0 SS. But in my head, we needed help. So I was like, listen, I just don't want to get them. I just don't want to give them a free undefeated season. That's historic. That's incredible. 13-1 is still very insane. Congratulations to them. But then in our heads, that's what we were thinking. Uh, and I don't think there was ever like I could tell like our team over the course of time. Not over the course of time, but over that week, like we didn't really have that underdog mentality. Like we didn't really feel like underdogs. To be honest, like I looked over the lanes, I looked over the matchups. I felt like they were pretty winnable. I feel like I mean, the charts are showing, people are putting out content where Blunt is the best mid in the league. So I'm going off that, and I mean he's shown it every week. This man is going absolutely crazy. So it feels good to win a lane. If I do my job correctly, and I think I've only lost to Slardar lane. I don't know how I split with those with Benny. It felt like I won that Darkseer lane, and maybe he won the Troll Brood lane. I feel like that's how it went. Maybe we drew the first one. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I feel like we're a pretty strong team that can win two lanes pretty handily. Uh, and our safe lane can always pop off, just depending on if we give IPA a good lane. We sometimes pick his hero early, so who really knows there? But uh, so I think game one they open up with Grimstroke. Uh, I assumed they were not gonna ban Brood. Um, and we actually did a couple like mock drafts where they don't ban Brood, and we don't actually pick it. Uh, so I don't want to reveal exactly why, but we don't pick it. We open up with Techies. Shubi enjoys the hero, along with some other heroes that they have banned. We thought they were actually targeting Shubi with some of their bans and Fatality. Uh, I think they banned like Venge and things of that nature. So I'm pretty sure we get Techies Undying. And this is all off memory. I don't have anything up. Techies Undying. What was it? Techies Undying. Faceless Void. So wait, was it Undying for this? Yeah, it was Techies Undying Faceless Void. I really liked that set. It was really solid drafting from Vitality. I think they answered with like they always do like a stringed hero on Riley. So we liked the Undying against Savage. And we really felt like we could abuse that lane. Riley isn't an offlaner. He plays um, mostly support in the pubs. So we just decided to sort of try to abuse that lane if we could. Lottie's obviously a great player, but she's not known for these lane dominant type of heroes. Maybe actually, I guess Witch Doctor, Sniper, Support are pretty lane dominant heroes. We just felt like we could maybe abuse that lane. We knew the Benny Laps lane is going to be a solid lane. They've been a solid lane all year. So we watched some of their games. We watched their game. We watched their series against ZG. We watched their series against Sheesh, and then I watched their series against Golf. And I mean, all over around, like it was hard to find holes. Obviously they're there, but it was hard to find holes that were easily like detectable in my eyes. Like they're overall a solid team. I do think if your teams are weak laners, they're gonna run you over. They're gonna run you out the gate. And I actually think their off lane is their strongest lane. If you give Riley the right heroes, obviously I won't say what those are, but if you give Riley the right heroes, that is a very strong lane. Um, so yeah, we went in with that mentality. Uh, right when I saw we picked Sniper, we realized they're gonna pick Spectre. Left Spectre open. They insta-lock Spectre. I was like, okay, I want Darkseer. Pretty much no matter what they pick, Darkseer on a one-on-one matchup is very hard for Spectre, especially if you go Radiance on Spectre. So once I saw the Radiance, I felt pretty good about the game. We realized that we just sit back and farm, we sort of win. I always have Surge for Sniper. He can get out. I was gonna, we were just gonna build like a hella four staffs for Sniper, just make sure he can live. And then if we land a Chrono on those two supports, AA, I think it was AA and Grimstroke were the supports, and that support deal was sort of weak. AA also went Aghanims like second item. So yeah, we just felt like that game was in the bag. Game two, I think we honestly didn't have a cohesive draft. I wanted Brood. It was too early. We left some things in the pool like Troll that Brood sort of gets exposed by, and I don't know. Probably won't be coming back out for the rest of the playoffs. Some other heroes I should have picked that I feel like if I picked, we could have had a better chance to win the game. So yeah, that Brood pick was pretty detrimental to what we wanted to do as a team and as a squad that week. But yeah, that's enough about Rada Toast. Moving on to my opinions going into playoffs and some dark horses to look out for. I truly don't know who can beat Savage in the upper bracket. I think it's gonna come down to who lives the gauntlet. That's gonna be lower bracket. Sheesh, Calamity Crew. Calamity Crew just coming off a 0-2 from Goff. I don't know how well they're gonna recover from that. Zealous Gaming did 1-1 Grim Prison, but they're already out of the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter at all. The XO2 Old Rats and Bunnies, cool, confident swing. The real match to watch, the real match, and I think I said it in chat, was the HOC series, which actually ended in a 1-1. Um, if HO lost those two games, they would be sitting in the tiebreakers for the bottom of the league. That eighth seed, they would be tied with Grim Prison. So that was a big match for HO. I don't really know what's happening to HO, but I always feel like they can turn it up. So I'm interested about this matchup next week against them. I always feel like they can turn it up. I feel like you can never sleep on Ouch Kibbles, Radio Foot. You just can't sleep on those players. They're experienced. They've played together a lot, and they gave us a run for our money last season. So I'll always be slightly worried about HO, but I feel simply good, pretty good. If I had to choose between Calamity Crew and Sheesh, obviously I'd choose Calamity Crew. I think Sheesh they do, old Stinky. He's a solid offlaner. I don't have him as high as Chev on his list, but I think he's solid. Definitely a good player. But I do think seeing Goff or DXO in the lower bracket, even ZG for some of these teams like ZG versus Calamity Crew, that could be scary for Calamity Crew. ZG versus Sheesh could be scary for Sheesh. But we're down here as well, right? So people have to be worried about the underliers in the lower bracket. But I really do think Sheesh is Sheesh and HO could turn it up. We're playing HO, so obviously I hope that doesn't happen. But those are my two dark horses. I think Rejects is only gonna get better with time throughout the playoffs. The more they can look at replays, when Hexy really turns it on. I mean, he's sort of playing these troll heroes, and they have 8 wins. So we can call it what we want. So we can say all these things about him trolling with these heroes and things of that nature. He has 8 wins, so it is what it is. Can't really say much else. He's third seed in the fucking playoffs. Most likely they'll be facing Goff, which I think will probably be a. I really do think Goff has them 2-0. It's gonna come down to Chev versus Hexy. But I really think Teju, that's how you say his name, it is light years better than the pause one on Rejects, which I'm forgetting his name right now. I think it's Time's End. Yeah, I think it's Time's End. It's gonna be hard for them to keep up. They're gonna have to sort of make a masterful plan, and the issue is their weakest players. They're offlaner. The GXO's weakest players. They're offlaner. I think Fourth World tries to make the lane strong, but I've seen him play some very sus heroes, make some very sus plays. His laning's not great. And no flame to position Tron or whatever his name is. No flame to bro. I obviously have some growing to do in that department. That's my honest thoughts on him. To give background, before I was given the role on ROT, DXO was looking for a potential offlaner slash mate of kicks position Tron for me. Fourth, and Hexy wanted him kicked. I was interested in teaming up with Hexy at the time. Obviously, it didn't work out. Cheddar Bear did not want to kick position Tron. He did not want to do any kicks this season. So that deal did not work out. And obviously, I went to Rada Toast about a week later. I don't have any bad blood towards Cheddar Bear. I truly think he was doing what's best for his team. But I mean, it's gonna stab him in his back. Maybe if they have to see us. If they have to see us, and I don't think their safe lane stands a chance. I think that's simply what's gonna come down to. In my head, I don't think their safe lane stands a chance. I think Blunted has Hexy a little bit topped, potentially a lot of bit topped. We haven't even seen Hexy at his top form right now, right? We're still getting that sort of troll Hexy where he's playing these hard carries in the mid lane and he doesn't trust his team. I'm curious when we'll get the Hexy that trusts his team and plays real mid players and or mid laners and fills a role for his team that is that of a mid laner, of a true mid laner, a true traditional mid, right? Um, and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes I feel like Hexy holds himself back in the fact that uh, he's great. He's a great player. He knows he's good, but he'll give himself these sort of weird situations and put himself in hard to win situations. And he doesn't look like that great player in those hard situations. So it's a weird dynamic. But I do think the further they go, the more experience they get under their belt, the stronger they'll be to contend with. Because I think they move and adapt quickly. I do think the 2 bye weeks for Savage Spirits, if there is a patch, are going to hurt Savage Spirits very hard. As someone who's gone through the upper bracket like a lot, uh, those 2 weeks, especially in a patch, hurt you really bad, especially if your team doesn't scrim. You're not adapting to the patch. You're not seeing it. Your team's not getting together. Obviously, Savage queues like every fucking day, so I think they'll be fine. But the competitive side definitely wanes on you because you're just not testing things out competitively. You're not seeing what other teams are testing out. Uh, but maybe they'll get some scrims in. But I do think that's a potential thing to watch out for. Where if you're in the upper bracket and you're having to play every other week, um, you're not getting a lot of games on the patch competitively. So something to look out for. But my prediction is Savage versus EG, Goff versus DXO. I got Goff 2-1 over Rejects. Savage probably 2-0 against ZG. Obviously taking us 2-0 against Helmets On. Actually, I got us 2-1. I think we're still learning. I think we're going to drop a game. But I do have us winning the series. Sheesh over Calamity Crew. Um, and that's probably my first week's predictions. Uh, the game of the week, in my opinion, would be us versus Helmets On or Goff versus Rejects. Probably favoring Goff versus Rejects just because of how star powered of a game that is. It's gonna be very interesting to see. I think Chev being a captain this season. Correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't a captain last season fully because Jamie was on the team as well. Chev being a solo captain this season has shown how far he's taken this game. He's not only making content and captaining the team, but he's also in a pivotal role as like a mid. Uh, and I'm pretty sure he shot calls on that team too. I haven't played with Urbo in a while, but I've known him for like it's been so long since I've known Urbo. But he's never been an IGL kind of 5. So major props to Chev for all the work he's putting in over at Goff. Um, and I don't think a lot of that gets shown. The back end of how teams sort of work. I do want to record one of our games so people can see how our comms work and what we're sort of talking about and thinking about in games. But that is a pivotal role on any team. I think Gavin slash Benny do it on Savage. Rejects, I'm guessing it's Cheddar Bear. Our team, it's mostly between me, me for end game, IPA, and Fatality for drafting slash prep. Also, Shubi does some drafting slash prep too, and some analysis. But in game calls, mostly it's me. I'll say sometimes IPA, Fatality will mention things that we should be doing if I'm quiet, things of that nature. So it's a little bit of a trade off. Um, but yeah, it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, and it's extremely important to a team. That person who can sort of lead you to victory and have an idea of how to win is extremely important, and potentially maybe the definer in these playoffs. In my opinion, there's 3 teams that are far and above these other teams. Uh, and that's just how I see it. Savage, Radatos to Golf. I think those three teams are far and above any of the other teams. I don't think it's too close. But we haven't seen DXO at full strength, so I'm not 100% sure how strong DXO is. And she could be surprising. So I can't give definites, but in my opinion, those three teams are probably the favorites to win it. Um, Trying to give no bias towards my team, but I just feel like we beat an undefeated team. We're coming together, and I don't even think we're at full strength yet. But part of me thinks Savage has hit their peak, and may have a collapse in playoffs. Who knows? I mean, we sort of showed how to beat them. I think if ZG does their research, and looks at our replays, and I mean they had a close game against Savage. Sheesh had a close game against Savage. Goff had some close games against Savage. If you look at it, look out there, the errors and the mistakes have always been the same for this team. Um, and they just got harder to expose, but they've always been the same. So yeah, I think it's open, but there are some teams that are favored to win, in my opinion. Um, Now next topic would be tier lists. Uh, Last season I came out with like a content piece for my own tier list, and it was bullshit. It was just like community tier lists are just bad, man. Like people just they get angry that they're even filling them out. They're angry that their teammates low. They're angry that they think it's a popularity contest. Realistically, it is. Realistically, it is. Like I'm probably having the most dominant season I've ever had in A2L. Like normal season wise. In terms of like just coming out of lanes, absolutely like cooking, right? I'm getting contested for the best pause three. I have no idea. The fact pause one is not a contest between Benny and Teju is crazy. How is there far and away a best pause one? How the fuck is there far and away a best pause five? I was confused because I was like, who? Like Herbo or people saying it's Sync? Is Sync? I thought Sync was a pause four. Maybe pause four is far and away, but like again, it's just community bullshit, and the community doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. There's a select few that know actual ball in the chat. There's a very select few that know actual ball. Me, Chev, Rusty, Jamie, Gav, Print. I think that's it. I think those are people that have been around the league. Fourth word Marshall actually. Fourth word actually no. Fourth. Listen, you could be included on this list, but there's too much fake news you spread. You be saying the most outlandish shit confidently. It's craziness. Absolute craziness. I'll look at chat. Fourth word Marshall will be like, just say some bullshit. And I'm just like, yo, why are you saying that so confidently? That's not even true. Little fake news. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you could be there fourth word. You swim. You semi no ball. Like you're almost there. Um, I think that's it. Like I don't know if anyone else has been around long enough. IPA actually. IPA knows ball. IPA is really good as well. And I was thinking for this podcast, maybe I'll have guests on from week to week to go over their games in depth. Also to go over like league news, things of that nature. Um, I think I could go in on this ZG. My next topic was going in on this ZG situation, but realistically, it wasn't even a real situation. It was more just they came in chat off of 1-1. They were hyped that they beat us. Uh, and yeah, I mean, I literally had to ask, like, brother, you got beat by offlane Storm Spirit. I'm on 200 ping, and we paused 4 times. Like, it is what it is. We're celebrating 1-1s. I mean, I don't really know. Like, they're headed to the airport in 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks. They're headed to the airport. They're finished in 2 weeks. They're going to get beat by Savage. They're going to get beat by whoever they play in the lower brackets. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Some teams are just like that. But I don't think there's really any beef. Like I mean, I think it died out over some time. I think they have a good mid player. I think their offlaner's decent. Um, I think their safe lane is weak. Like I said, And yeah, they tried to meme me for it. I was just like, buddy, like, look at the stats. Like the game speaks for itself. But um, I'm sorry, my girl's doing dishes in the back, and if y'all can hear the dishes and shit, no, it should be good. It should be good. The recording should be all right. Um, but yeah, I think that's my first podcast. Yo, I don't even know what I'm gonna call this. The Rhino Rants podcast, or um, I don't know. Stay tuned for the title. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but I definitely want to get guests on the podcast. Ask them in multiple leagues too. You know, we can just talk Dota. We can talk AG2L. We can talk the happenings of the pro scene, etc., etc. But there'll be definitely drama here that I'll discuss. I don't want to say weekly because you fiends be fucking memeing me every time I say weekly. So I won't say weekly, but I will say I'm aiming for 3 podcasts a month. Um, and that's just going to probably create a content flow for this channel. My big issue with Rhino TTV channel is I don't always want to scream in the fucking mic and rant for like 30 minutes. And there's also just not enough content in 8012 to rant about. Like sometimes I'm just like, bro, I don't even feel like ranting about this shit because it's not even like relevant or like I don't give a fuck. I don't care enough. You know what I mean? If I 2 Savage, I probably was gonna like make an insane video. I mean, Benny literally changed his name to Rhino Hunter. That was crazy. I can't lie. That was crazy. But uh, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I sort of have a mutual respect for Benny now. After our arc where we hated each other. Uh, I think I obviously I don't think I hate Benny. I don't think I ever really hated Benny. It was more just I felt disrespected by Benny, to be honest. Like, but then I realized like if he had his name in my if he has my name in his mouth that much, he's got to respect me as an offlaner. You know what I mean? Like you sort of have to at that point. And I respect him as a safe lane carry. I think he's had a hell of a season. As much as we like to meme Benny, I feel like he's had a hell of a season. You know, Chef shows him love in the in the tier list rankings. But yeah, so and I hope y'all enjoyed this. If y'all have any questions you want to put towards the show, just DM me. I'm not gonna make no Discord or no bullshit for this. Maybe if it gets big and people start fucking with it, but yeah, just DM me. My DMs are always open. If you want to be on the show, you have any questions you want answered, you want me to go over any tape or anything like that, it could be cool. I'm thinking some weeks I go over like the game of the week and sort of give my perspective, maybe with whoever was playing in the game. So this could divulge into a lot of shit. Right now, it's less of a podcast and more of just a show with nothing. Like I know you're just sitting there watching like an animated rhino move on your screen right now, but like y'all fucking with y'all just listen to my voice, right? Like y'all could be playing Dota right now. Y'all could be, outside working out, doing some crazy shit. I may throw this on all audio platforms. Who knows? Probably not. But yeah. So I think that's it. That's all I have to say. More episodes coming soon. I enjoyed this last 33 minutes with you guys, chilling, getting some things off my chest. Um, oh, one more thing. I was asked why I came back after uh the what was that shit? I was season. Oh, I am better than I was. Season after like semi-retiring. I didn't really know whether I was going to leave the league. I didn't make a video or anything saying I was going to retire or leave the league. I sort of just left the Discord and had to sort of like reset myself. Like I don't know, dude. Losing grand finals twice in a row in 2 seasons, like that shit. That shit is diffy, man. That shit is different. You know what I mean? With teams that I really fought hard for. I really went in for. I think it was not 2 seasons in a row, but 2 playing seasons. Like the seasons I played in, going to the grand finals back to back and losing them. Felt like LeBron. I sent that LeBron gif, but me and LeBron got a lot in common. You know what I mean? I send that shit because I feel for bro. I feel out. Get into the fucking finals, losing to Dallas Maverick Dirk Nowitzki ass stack. When you obviously have the more star power, it sucks. It's not fun. So yeah, it was obviously GPO less so because GPO, it had Jamie on it. It honestly felt that GPO series, that deciding game. I don't know where it is. I don't know if anyone has the footage of that deciding game. I was versus GPO, but that was probably one of the best games A2 has ever seen. It was a 73-minute deciding match. The shit was insane, and it hurt like a motherfucker after that bitch. Losing to fucking, I just remember Troll Warlord hitting my fucking ancient. I'm like, yo, cliff this bitch. We gotta use them. I think I tried to sell some items for Yules at the end of the game to try to just stop Troll from hitting our fucking ancient. Man, that shit was hard as hell, but man, one of the funnest games I've played in A12, and that's probably why I came back to A12. I felt like I wasn't done. I felt like I didn't really want to quit Dota. And yeah, so now we out here. If you guys are curious of why Chev keeps saying I'm on Starlink, out here in the fucking boonies. I am out here in the boonies. I am on Starlink. No longer a city boy. You know, Me and my girl were doing some cool things to move around the country and things of that nature. But I couldn't give up gaming, so obviously had to get that Starlink. Shout out Elon. Um, and yeah, we got the Starlink. We gaming off that shit. So if you see me, if you see me pause or you see me lag in game, don't be like ZG where I'm faking my lag. Trust me, it's real. Trust me, it's real, and I'm playing through that bitch. Trust me. But yeah, that's basically it, man. 37 minutes of straight spitting from Rhino. But yeah, I think this podcast will do fine. I don't repeat myself again. I appreciate y'all tuning into the podcast. If you made it this far, because 37 minutes is crazy. 37 minutes is crazy. I gotta leave y'all with something. What color drip are you wearing today? Like shirt, jersey, sweatshirt, anything. What color is it? What color and brand? What color and brand? Because I need to know what brand y'all, my supporters, are rocking. What color and brand? Don't make it up either. I know if you're making it up. I'll know if you're making it up. Do not make it up. Be real. Be real. All right. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Look for an upload soon. And yeah.